Hello everyone, this is going to be a just-in-time training for you how to actually download the student data files for the 1350 course, and then I'm going to show you how to upload them into FileZilla after you have downloaded the files and unzipped them. So to start with, you're going to go into the course, and we are going to go to the content area. And then we're going to come down to topic 2, getting started with data files. And then you're going to find that there is a CIS 1350 data files. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and download those files. So we're going to click on the download, and we're going to be downloading them probably to our default area, which is going to be the downloads folder. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get into my downloads folder, and you will see that it is currently downloading, and here they are. I'm actually going to move them, and I'm going to place them in a different location, and I have a external file folder, external drive that I'm going to actually put those into, and they're moved there. Now from here, because they're zipped, I can't really see what's inside of it, so I need to unzip it. And the way that I do that, I have a program called pzip. Pzip is free, you can download it, and there are other unzipped softwares that are available to you to use. And so what I'm going to do is, after it is, if you download pzip, then what I'm going to do an opposite mouse click, and then I go into the pzip, and I'm going to say extract here, smart new folder. It's going to extract all those files. And here you can see where it's extracting them. And here is the file folder. So if I double click and get inside this file folder, you'll see that there's a subdirectory, and it's still extracting. So it's moving all those files in here. It's got HTML 1, 2, and 3 folder. You will see the rest of them here pop in as they come through. So it'll be just a few more seconds. There they are. And we're just about done. Okay, so what you will find in here is your folders from 1 through 10. You've got an image folder, you've got a scripts folder, you have an index.html, and a CSS folder. You will be taking all of these files, and you're going to be moving them up to the file, to the server, Sinclair server, in your own folder, excuse me, using FileZilla. Now to start with, you are going to have to manipulate this index file. One of the things that you have to do is, and you can manipulate it with whatever code editor you want to use. And let's see here, we've got the Visual Studio Code is what we're going to look at. And I'm going to open that up real quick. And this is actually what you see once you install the Visual Studio Code. And what you will have to be doing is you are going to be scrolling down here, and you are going to go into the welcome section where the content is, and you're going to take this out and you're going to put your own information in here. Okay? Also, you are going to be changing the image that is in here, which is currently called imagesmypic.jpg. You're going to use some other type of image of yourself, or an image that represents yourself. And then you're going to save this, and you are going to then upload that with it. So you can either do that at the beginning, or you can upload all the files and then just push up what you want. Notice that the image folder is here. You want to save and keep your stuff in a nice, neat order. So your images, if you are at the main level, you would want to store all your images in the image folder. And so since this is manipulating the index file, we are going to be saving our files in here. Okay, so this is the image that we're going to be replacing with our own image. And it doesn't have to be called mypc.jpg. It can be called whatever you want it to be, as long as you change your code. Next, the CSS folder contains the CSS code in order to manipulate this index file. So if you take a look at it, you will find these are the files that are used when calling the index file. Okay? After you get these files up to the server, you will be manipulating each one of these files later on throughout the semester. You'll be doing each case problem number 1, I do believe. You'll have to check with your instructor, but in my particular case, I'm having my students manipulate case problem 1. So you would be going into the HTML1, into the case problem 1, and you would be following the instructions, and you would be editing this index file. If you are asked to incorporate any images, you will be saving your images in this folder to keep everything nice and neat and clean. You would not be storing them on the outside of the HTML1 in this image folder. So you want to keep everything together. When you're finished modifying this area, you will be uploading just this folder. You don't need to upload the rest of the folders because you didn't do anything with them. And once you upload those folders into the right area, then you'll be good to go. Next piece. How do I get these files up to FileZilla? Well, you want to start your FileZilla. You need to make sure that you create a connection. So I'm going to go into the Site Manager, and I'm going to give it a new site name, and mine is called CIS 1350. You want to make sure that your host is cisplace.sinclair.edu. I set this for ask for a password, and I am sending it to my email account. I'm using my email account as the username. We are switching from your first dot last name to your email address. You can do either one this semester, but next semester you should be using your Sinclair email address. And then, of course, I'm not putting a password in at this point. When I click Connect, it asks me for my password. This is my Sinclair password. I don't remember it because it does change every once in a while. And here are the folders. Now let's scroll down, and I'm going to find mine. And hopefully I have a folder on here. So they're in alphabetical by first name. I'm going to double click on my name. Notice that I don't have any folders whatsoever in this area. So this is the right side is the server. The left side of this screen is my computer. So I stored my files in the My Passport Ultra, and here is the zipped file, here is the unzipped file, and those are the ones that I want. So I'm going to double click on that, get in that folder, and then I'm going to double click one more time, and here are all my files. Now I do not want to put this 1350-2022 folder up on the server because that's just going to extend my URL in order to see my files. So that's why I get inside of that folder. And all I have to do is select all the files, and then all I have to do is just drag and drop them over here. It's going to ask me for my password again because I didn't save it. Oops. And now my files are being uploaded to the server. So this is telling you down here that they are being transferred. If you have any problems, this will probably throw an error. You'll see an error in here, and they won't be available for you to be transferred up. So in the future, after I've modified specific folders, I don't need again to send everything back up. All I have to do is grab the one file folder and drag and drop it over here. Make sure that you are on the outside of that folder. You can, however, double click inside of that folder. You have to also double click inside that folder on the server, and now you can drag and drop any of these folders inside of this folder. So you can get pretty granular. If you want to do that with the actual files, you would double click on the case 1, and you would drag and drop those individual files in. If this is the only thing that you modify and you only want to spend a few seconds doing it, then by all means pull your files. Remember, you need to pull all files that support whatever it is you're manipulating. If you manipulate and change the HTML file, that means that you probably added an image file to it. If you did, you must pull that image file up to the server also. Otherwise, you're going to get a big red X where your picture should be. So everything has to be there. While this is continuing to upload, let's take a look at what your URL should be. Now, if you are wanting to look at what you put up there on the server, then what you're going to do is you are going to use the URL of cisplace.sinclair.edu/ your file folder, which is going to be your first name dot last name, and that's all you need. You can, if you want, to type in index.html, but the server is set up to automatically find an index file. And if you enter it, here is the file that has been pushed up to the server. It's still loading, so some of the pieces are still missing. That's why you don't see the image or the other images of it, but it'll eventually get there. This is how you check your homework. So after you've manipulated it, you push it up to the server, you go to the address, and you take a look at it. If it looks correct, then you're good to go. If you've got a mistake, then you have to go back to your file, you fix it, you save it, you go into FTP, and you upload it again. And then you come back to the browser and you check it. If you are manipulating the homework for tutorial 1, which is going to be case problem 1, you also have to put the exact path of where that's at. Since it is located in HTML01 file folder, and it's located in this case 1 file folder, then you should be able to automatically hit enter if the file has an index. To double check that, notice that underneath the HTML1 file folder, under the case 1, there is no just index.html. There is an jtc_index.txt file, or whatever it is, so that's what you would have to end up putting in order for you to see that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and move this around just so I can see it. And we're going to add to it, so it'll be jtc_index_text.html. And if I enter that, if I've typed it correctly, I should be able to see what that file looks like. And since it says that there is no file, let's double check. HTML01, case 1, and JTC index. Anyways, I have a mistake there someplace, but you get the idea of how you would actually figure out how to look at your files and manipulate them. If by all means, if you have any trouble, please contact your instructor for some additional assistance. Thanks.